Welcome everybody to our Monday night empowerment session. It's hard to believe that we're already to our 65th recorded webinar that we're doing. And tonight we're talking about why adaptogens, what makes these so unique? Why do I use them? Why do I rely on them so much? And for those of you who are not yet on the texting notification list, you can text the word LEARN, L-E-A-R-N. In fact, you can see this on the screen to the number 1-866-256-1970. And you will get notifications roughly 15 minutes before our Monday night webinars. So with the link right there, so where you can join from your phone or send it to your computer and be able to join that way and not have to worry about missing any of these or being, getting tied up with time. In any case, we're going to jump right into this, and we're going to start right out of the gate hearing from Miss Corinne Lott.
Hi there, my name is Corinne Lott. I am a certified emotion code practitioner, as well as a certified natural health professional. And I wanted to share just real quick about the things that I've been doing in my practice for the last 10 years to be able to help those clients basically find a balance within their body. And the common denominator that is such a great asset for most of my clients is the use of products with adaptogens. Soul Naturals is a company that every product that they produce contains at least one adaptogen. An adaptogen herb is basically an herb, or I call it a super herb, that goes in and helps your body really handle what's going on for you. Everybody can take an adaptogen for a different reason, and they all seem to get some benefits from it. So one of the things that I have really found over the years is when my clients started using the products with adaptogens in it, they didn't need to call me as often, or they were able to kind of handle the stresses that life threw at them. And that has been probably a huge blessing across the board with not only my clients that are using it, myself, and my family. So I would just continue to recommend the products that contain adaptogen herbs and that really are whole plants and that really give your body what it needs so that it's allowing your body to heal from the inside out.
So I asked Corinne because she had been working as a practitioner for so long, and I knew that she, like myself, added the adaptogenic line of Soul Naturals to her products that she was offering to her clients, and that she too had just seen them as a game changer. So I love that she shared the emotional component that she was seeing with her people, and I was seeing the same thing.
Hi there.
So I want to look at the two different healing philosophies that are out there. The one that we see when primarily tied to Western medicine, and the one that we primarily see tied to Eastern medicine. Western medicine, we're very familiar with the, take something for your headache or your aches and pain, or maybe if you have an arthritis issue or a cholesterol issue, a lot of it is tied back to taking, medicines that way. And then Eastern medicine is tying in more with working with the plants. So one of the other things we see with Western medicine is health is often defined as an absence of symptoms, whereas in Eastern medicine, they look at true health being found in a balance of spirit, body, and mind, which is totally different. We're looking what is lacking in the Western medicine, as in we got rid of the symptoms. But in Eastern medicine, it's like, okay, maybe the symptom disappeared, but do we really have everything in balance so that the person is having ideal health? With Western medicine, a disease is attacked. Otherwise, drugs, surgery, radiation, you're looking more for a quick fix. When we come to Eastern medicine, you have, again, that's emphasis more on restoring balance with a holistic approach, whether you're looking at herbal tonics, how you eat, your lifestyle, whether or not you got enough movement, if you're drinking enough water, spiritual practices, any types of supportive therapies, but it's very much a long-term approach. So again, long-term versus short-term, a quick fix. And in Western medicine, the body, I see that they see it kind of as a collection of parts. From all the clientele that I've had over the years, it has not been uncommon for maybe someone to come in with an issue in an area of the body without looking at the other parts that might be involved with it, where that's exactly what they do when we're looking at Eastern medicine. They assume and look at as organs as being interconnected. It's not looking at one thing without the other. So let's say if I have someone whose bowels are getting headaches on a regular basis, I'm not necessarily going to come in and tell the person to take a supplement to just get rid of that pain. I'm going to say, okay, is that because the liver's overwhelmed? Is it because we're not breaking down foods? Is it because we ate something we shouldn't? Is it because the bowels aren't moving? I'm looking at all these different things. What is their environment? So I'm looking at the whole body. So the approach that I have used and is looking at the body as a whole. And so we're going to continue with this thought because, again, we're focusing on adaptogens, and you're going to see how that fits right into your hair. And I always found it pretty fascinating that in Chinese medicine, they look at prevention of disease and maintenance and health. And even historically, and I thought this was pretty fascinating, and I've heard this for years, that the Chinese medicine doctor was paid a retainer to keep their patients healthy. If the patient became sick, the doctor wouldn't be paid until the patient's health returned. And this was fascinating too. It says, in a similar vein, a doctor that resorted to surgery was considered an inferior doctor. They felt that if the doctor did their job well and helped their clients stay healthy, there shouldn't be a need to perform surgery. And of course, this is older type thinking. We're not thinking about like an emergency trauma with, maybe a car accident and we're having to put the body back together. So just in general though, and I love this focus is on having quality of life. And then another doctor that I think pretty highly of here, and he works very much with the body and its interconnectedness. And he is known for this, and it says, no system in the body ever works alone, never gets injured alone, and never heals alone. There's no such thing as an isolated injury. There's no such thing as an isolated healing. Otherwise, if we're having an issue like a pain in the elbow, the answer is not cut off the elbow or put a pain on over it. It's look at what's going on. Why is that being impacted? What is not getting circulation like it should? It's so much of a bigger picture. Remember, it's all interconnected. So when I added in the Soul Naturals line 10 years ago into my practice, people were already very familiar with about how I like to use the least amount to get the most, results that I can without using that much. And if I found something that, maybe had changed or wasn't working as well, I would be the first one to pull it from the shelves and look for a better option for them. So I started getting these questions from people. And the question literally was, so why are you all about soul all of a sudden? And I love the question because I was able to turn around and say, actually, you guys are all about soul. You have shown me how much you love these products. And I would tell them how quarterly I would run all my numbers on my inventory, and I could tell what was selling and what wasn't selling. And the things that had no longer weren't moving as fast, I would mark them down because I want to make certain I had fresh inventory on the shelves. Well, it literally hit a point to where the Soul Naturals products were outselling what else I had on the shelf by about 100 to 1. And those other items, I literally at points took them down to 50 cents a piece. I couldn't give a lot of those away. I ended up doing some donations, but I almost couldn't give them away because people wanted the Soul products instead. And I thought that was so great. And so when people are saying, why Soul? The answer is less is more. I'm able to keep it even more simple. And even more importantly, I found that people are more consistent with their programs because they were more quickly feeling better mentally and emotionally. And as a result, their follow through would improve, which would dramatically resulting in long-term and additional unexpected health benefits. Again, because we're looking at this as the body being as a whole and all the interconnectedness with that. So I love this. And literally it's what actually has supported the ability to shift my business completely to where now I get to work from home instead of having a brick and mortar now. So I want to look at the different components for approaching with the body. when adaptogens, physically, adaptogens are brilliant plants. They are such smart plants. And what I like is, as opposed to, like it says here, overriding the importance or the wisdom of the body, which you can do even with some herbs, adaptogens are going to help that body or the system stay in the driver's seat, helping it in whether it's shifting, braking, turning, controlling the gas pedal to regulate speed. Otherwise, because adaptogens help the body to balance then and find its ideal normalization, it is whether you say you have an underactive area, you're not having to necessarily go for something that's going to support the underactive. And then, oh my goodness, and we get this other area that's overactive. And then we got to use something different there. No, adaptogens can bring that balance in no matter what, because the body flips around all the time. It does not stay consistent with some of its actions. And so I love how smart these are. So physically, that's one way that it supports it. Again, think about a race car. You got to be able to hit those corners hard and fast, brake when you need to, turn around, dodge things are being thrown in your direction. Adaptogens allow you to do this. When it comes to mental, this is a pretty neat quote talking about the study of psychoneuroimmunology, which is more simply put is a mind-body interaction. So what does that mean? It's the interaction between the emotions or the psyche, the neurological system, which is the brain and nervous system, and then the immune system. And I love it that now even scientists are realizing that the mind plays an important role in both the manifestation and treatment of disease. Well, adaptogens, because it's helping the body to adjust so well and kind of, let's say, adjust on the fly, when the body's not thrown from one direction to the other, I believe that it helps the body to perform better on a mental state. Plus, you have a better outlook in life, which means you're going to be more positive, helping to help the body to heal when it comes that direction as well. And then we have emotional. And I just thought this was great, this picture of this little guy with this mood swing. We've seen this with people, all the time. So how do adaptogens come in emotionally and work? Well, number one, they reduce extremes in the body's stress response. And like we talked about a while ago, if the bodies can adapt on the fly, then we're not going to have to wait until the body gets so overwhelmed to figure out, what supplement or, what plant do I need to help the body bounce back? Adaptogens are already on top of it and they're making it work. So, let's be honest, and this is where I feel, if you feel better physically, you can better gauge how to respond to a situation, and you are less apt to respond in an extreme fashion. So for me, adaptogens are, in the simplest put like that, they are helping us to be more enjoyable to be around people. And because we feel better in general, we're not going to be so apt to be crabby or, again, react in a way that is not beneficial. So I asked another practitioner who I knew had been in the field for a long time as well to share why she likes the adaptogens from Soul Naturals as much as well.
I have this beautiful privilege of helping others on their health journey. And in the last 30 years of doing so, I have learned a lot. I used to use a company that had over 600 herbs, but they weren't adaptogen herbs like Soul is. Soul has adaptogen plants in each of their products. So I used to work with a company that wasn't like that. And when I made the switch, I totally stopped using the other company, because what I noticed with my clients was an amazing change. And why do I say that? Well, because people that were coming with one complaint were getting on a Soul program, and the other 5 things they did not tell me about, those were getting better as well. Because that's what adaptogen plants do. They work in so many things at the same time that if you only start for one reason, you'll have side effects, good side effects, because it'll work on all these other things. So as someone who helps others on their journey to health, Soul was the answer for me. Because not only is it multifaceted, does it hold and encompass a whole bunch of disarrays and imbalances in the body, but it also does it on both sides of the spectrum. So if an organ is working too much or too little, Soul comes in and helps because of the adaptogen plants. And the truth is, our body all the time is changing. I can have in one given moment in the day high blood pressure, and in the next hour it'd be low. High blood sugar, and then the next hour it'd be low. And so if I'm always using an herb or a product to help me with high blood pressure by bringing it down, what happens when it's too low? So what I've learned with Soul is that if I give one product for either imbalance, anything, blood sugar, blood pressure, the body, because it's so smart, knows what to do with these smart plants. And now they work so that when your blood pressure is high, your blood sugar is high, whatever blood level is high, it comes and compensates. And if it's low, it comes and compensates. And so you are able to achieve balance. That's one of the many things that adaptogen plants do for you. And so it was a no-brainer. Why would I want to use any other type of herb when I have one that I can take for more than one thing and that I can take no matter how my body is fluctuating during the day? The beauty of Soul is that it works with your body and you don't have to know what's going on. All you have to do is trust that your body is smart and that the products, the adaptogens, are smart. And together, smart body, smart plants, the combination, when those two come together, it's amazing. It can be the best doctor you'll ever have, because at times, doctors don't even know what to do with you because the body is just so complex. But adaptogen plants, smart plants, with your organs that are smart put together, they know how to work together to help you achieve health.
So now I've asked Greg Halliday to take a moment and share with us his take on my question or statement for today, which is why adaptogens. So let me, there he is, make him a co-host. You
Hello,
are
Valerie.
on.
Hey, everybody. You know what? I've realized my answer is going to really just be validating what you and Lydia already taught. But thankfully, I brought a couple of slides because I brought a couple of my favorite slides that answer this question. Not surprisingly, they're from a presentation, a training that Dr. Allison did about adaptable, which because it's the, as you know, the core product. It was formulated for my wife Donna and was the very first formula of Soul. When we talk about it, we do in this early training that Dr. Allison gave, she talks about why adaptogens. So she kind of answers it, and it encapsulates what I think. I mean, it's funny, you can simplify down adaptogens. You can kind of simplify it down when you think of issues where, whether we call them imbalances. I personally am partial to that way of looking at health, the way Valerie has described. I feel like, to me, it encapsulates the best way to take action. If I look at it as a mindset of balance, and I look at therapeutic plants, and particularly adaptogens, as nutrition, it just, to me, sends me down a lot of healthy habits and healthy decisions, good decisions for feeling better. But if you were to summarize what so many people say, what we've heard at Soul and our own experiences personally, my own, my wife's own, children, you could find, these four things, others too, but these four are very common. More energy, better sleep, a level head, and a strong immune system. Well, if you think about it, the body would put itself back into balance if it had what it needed. If it had a chance, sometimes we're on such high alert, there is no chance to rebuild. But if it can spend time to fix itself, and it has the raw materials and the fuel, the quantity and the variety needed, then the body does. It moves toward balance, toward homeostasis. So it's not a surprise that when you have these plants that are full of so many different nutrients on both sides of imbalance, that they are proven. I'll never forget Dr. Maria Fernandez, who showed that nopal cactus, an adaptogen, has components that your body uses to lower sugar levels in blood. It also has components your body uses to raise them. It has this wonderful mixture on either side of imbalance. So that's why more energy, because what is lacking is so often addressed, or it has such a high probability. Now we believe in using multiple adaptogens to increase that probability even more, having the variety needed and those components that may be lacking in the situation. So it is not a surprise that adaptogens, they provide body with energy. In fact, I know some leaders who just describe, they say adaptogens are energetics. They're energetic plants. They'll just say it that way. So yeah, when the body's in balance, we sleep better. I mean, Valerie described perfectly about the difference balancing emotions and mood makes in everything, physically and emotionally, decision making, etc. So I like these four reasons are pretty big ones. And in one way, you can boil down all health imbalances into these four things in one way. I'm not saying they encompass everything, but it really is quite simple and really kind of profound to think of those four things. That being said, I want to skip over adaptable to the 2 points. I have 2 charts that actually, they go perfectly with the 2 charts that Valerie showed, one focusing on the physical normalizing effects of adaptogens, and then the other on the emotional. So this is from Dr. Allison. She reminded us we can look at stress in 3 stages. Our reaction, what's it going to be? What's the reaction? And then this adaptive resistance. How do we endure it or handle it while we're dealing with it? And then exhaustion, or the point in where the body has no more, or the mind, or the combination, right, has no more to give. These are the 3 stages of stress as I see them. Well, I love this chart. I pulled this from one of her trainings on Maca, because look what adaptogens do versus what the doctors, and I wish I knew how to say their name. Is it Panosian? Maybe. There's a group of doctors that has done multiple studies over many years on adaptogens. And you'll notice Dr. Allison quotes them or has quoted them quite frequently. So this is their chart. Stimulantia or doping. So a stimulant or a chemical that is synthetic in nature or altered, let's put it that way, from a plant. Sorry, that slide was timed in that presentation. I thought I took the timing off. Notice what it does. Forces an uptick in the body processes that correspond with in a lot of cases, with not always, with emotional and mental uptick. But that's followed by a dip and a tougher period. Adaptogens do not do that. They simply build. They bring to the table what's needed to successfully bring more energy to the situation. Energy equals the ability to balance. And then as those are utilized by the body, then it slowly settles back into our habit. So looking at our nutritional habit is everything. So that's kind of like, I like that one to one of the points that Valerie was talking about. And then the second chart that I jumped to is the other one to me, because that's what adaptogens do. If you look in the middle of this chart, this is our normal line of resistance. Maybe just our, it's our bank account to deal with physical and mental and emotional stress, right? Our normal level of strength. And when a situation comes, there's a dip. There's actually a dip, and then followed by the body's amazing ability to rally itself and adapt to the situation and bring more. Well, if we don't feed it with good nutrition, what happens is this middle section doesn't last very long. And we get into the cliff at the end, the exhaustion, when it dips too deeply, when those deep stores have nothing there, that's death. So it's really, to me, instructive, both physically and emotionally, because adaptogens are builders. They're not forcers. They're the silent workers to me. And my early experiences with them, I noticed that they just centralize and normalize things, and things improve without feeling this big roller coaster. And what they do, if we build them into our diet, is they help us increase the normal level of resistance, so that this little dip at the start, not quite so deep. It'll dip a little, but not so deeply. And the fall off at the end, not quite so steep, just settling back. To me, they normalize. I love Valerie's pothole analogy, but I won't say that because she's taught that in past. So why adaptogens? Because I believe in health, this is a much preferred path and it gives a better result, both early term, like short term, and also certainly over time. It's literally changed how I view the way I deal with my own health.
Perfect. Thank you, Greg. That was exactly what I was shooting for.
Awesome.
Okay, let's jump back in here. So I wanted to look at two programs that a lot of people start with. The health practitioner you saw there with Lydia Ferrantino, this is what she likes to start everyone, a lot of people with. And I wanted to point out all the adaptogens that are in that protocol right there. We've got ashwagandha, eleuthero, schizandra, jaugerlin, rhodiola, astragalus, red reishi, yerba mate, repondicum, red, yellow, and black maca, magnolia, noni, sea buckthorn, and then wood betony. So that is a fantastic collection of different adaptogens. And as you have learned on other trainings, how the adaptogens get in and strengthen the roots and that foundation, which is exactly why Lydia was talking about people might not have told her about some of the issues they were having. But when they would start on this program, because of the variety of adaptogens in here, that the results that they were getting were so pronounced. And on the same hand, a lot of people see that and Corinne also, we start a lot of people with the Bella Health program. So I wanted to look at the adaptogens we have in this. That's ashwagandha, eleuthero, schizandra, jaugerlin, rhodiola, astragalus, red reishi, yerba mate, goji, guduchi, and then wood betony. So again, another nice variety of adaptogenic herbs in these formulas. This is why I am so on board with adaptogens. Again, simple, less is more, helps the body to normalize and balance and help the body have a more reliable response system, helps to balance that mind and we have a better, more positive outlook, and helps the emotions to not bounce around so much. So many amazing things from just this simple adaptogen family, simple yet mighty and powerful. So the quote I wanted to end with, I hope that people really take this to heart. Health is not just being disease-free. Health is when every cell in your body is bouncing with joy. And that's to me what I'm looking for. And that's to me what I see adaptogens help people to achieve is vibrancy in their health. I want to see their skin have a great little pink glow like it's supposed to have. I want to see their mind on target and then be able to think. I want to see a sparkle in their eye. I want them to have the energy and desire to move in their life. Otherwise, every cell in their body bouncing with joy. So next week, we'll be talking about the new Soul Connect spray. And I hope to see you guys next Monday at 6:30.